Hey everybody, Keegan here. I just want to talk a little bit about Donald Trump meeting with Kim Jong-un and actually walking into North Korea. This is a big deal and it's never been done before. No president has ever walked on North Korean soil before. So the media is barely talking about it, and this is a huge deal. So it leads people in the truth community, or Republicans, or conservatives, or libertarians, or whatever, to think that maybe the liberal media is doing their thing, and they're trying to. Let me phrase this the right way. The media is trying to downplay the progress that Donald Trump's made. That's kind of the blanket assessment. But I always try to step out the box and look at things. So I actually voted for Donald Trump, but I watch him like a hawk. And, you know, I'm starting to not trust him as much as I used to. I guess as much as you could trust somebody that you voted for. But I thought that Donald Trump was going to be different. We are seeing different things. But again, it's like he wants to drain the swamp. I believe that Goldman Sachs is 100% Illuminati. He kind of surrounded himself with the Goldman Sachs people. So I always question my patriotism when it comes to Donald Trump. So I try to watch him like a hawk and still support him because I voted for him and I want the country to do well. I gave Obama 4 years before I started criticizing him openly. So it'd be nice to see a president do good, but it's hard to, if you look into the conspiracy stuff and look into the Illuminati, it's hard to trust anybody that's, worth over like $50 million or anything. So anyhow, I want to talk about North Korea because there's a chance that even though the media is downplaying this North Korean branch, olive branch of peace to the government or whatever, I've always thought that since I was a little kid that North Korea isn't even real. I'm not trying to say that it doesn't exist. I'm trying to say that the North Korea we've been presented, to a point in my brain, it always seemed like a sham. Uh, Anytime some weird stuff's going on internationally, North Korea launches off rockets. Like it just seems like it's too perfect. You remember the old Dave Chappelle skit where he talked about how anytime Clinton dropped bombs on another country, Michael Jackson was asleep with some kids. It was like the Illuminati's like, Michael, you know what to do, and he's like, oh man, okay, I'll do it. Patriotism. So I've always wondered, like, is North Korea even a real place? And if you hear me say things like North Korea is bullshit or dinosaurs are bullshit, I'm not trying to say they're bullshit. What I'm trying to say is that I don't trust the official story on them. There was an old movie back in the day with Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman called Wag the Dog, where a president gets involved in a sex scandal and they actually fake a war in a country that doesn't exist in the media to take all the attention away from the stuff that the president was doing. And I've always felt like there's certain things that go on that's what they're doing. And so, kind of to prove my point here, I just want to show you a couple things. You know, Trump meeting with Kim Jong Un, historical. I mean, he walked across the DNZ line or DMZ, demilitarized zone or whatever it's called. It's a huge historical deal. This is somebody that was the international boogeyman for years, and they're hanging out, having tea and stuff together. So on the surface, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. But is this all media distraction? So I want to show you, and the reason why I think this is all like pre-planned, and there's a chance that Trump is involved without even realizing he's involved, without realizing that the Illuminati's had preset plans for hundreds of years in advance, and he's just playing the part. Some would say Donald Trump's too smart for that, and hey, kudos to you. I just for me, it's hard. It's getting harder and harder for me to think that this isn't all pre-planned, all of it. Check this out. This is an old video game from like 2011 or something called Homefront. The guy that wrote it wrote what was it? Red Dawn. He's the original author of Red Dawn. But check this out. It's like 2011. I mean, they were planning on Hillary being their lady, and this kind of show, kind of fits the bill of that. But keep watching. This is a video game. It's Kim Jong Un's father. Later on, they actually put out a trailer for this game that actually had Kim Jong Un's actual face on it. But what they're saying in this is that he unites North and South Korea. They become a huge technology import export uh, power to deal with. In time, Korea's influence overtakes the world. Anyhow, so when Kim Jong Il actually died and Kim Jong Un took over, and then I started seeing this, I kept going back to this video game. I was like, this is kind of like the plot to this game. They're way ahead in the timeline for when this game came out. But so I just the Illuminati, the usurpers, the elite, the private banks that run the world at Stage 9/11, the controllers, whatever you want to call them. It seems as if there's a group that runs the world secretly, but they actually let us know what they're doing and actually let us know that they exist through propaganda, through movies, through video games, through music videos, etc. They give us little clues as to what their plans are. Now, I'm not trying to say that this scenario that I just showed you is going to happen, but certain key elements from this have happened in the timeline. And them showing Hillary Clinton as the president at the time, they might have been showing her as Secretary of the State. But them showing that, it was as if they were foreshadowing a future they wanted to happen. Now, maybe voters or public influence or whatever kind of changed their plans a little bit, but they put these things out in media, right? So we see them. So when they happen in real life, we go, oh, yeah, I expected that. I've seen it in that movie. So I'm just trying to show you that. And I also want to show you this. Now, this is the Illuminati card game. It's the guy that made it. I can't remember his name. I thought it was Steve Niles. I can't remember. But he's based out of Austin, Texas, same place InfoWars is from. But this card game came out in like 1991, and then there was different versions that came out in like 95, 97. But if you can see here, there are certain cards that mirror what have happened in real life. There's cards that predict the Boston bombing. The way this game is played is like the game Magic the Gathering, where the people sitting playing the game are like wizards, and they use certain cards to be spells in the game. Well, the way this game works is you're members of the Illuminati, and you're actually infighting within within your own group, and you play these cards, and some of them are like nuclear accident, tidal wave, but as the population's fear grows, you have more power on the board. So there's things from gun control, martial law. There's cards that look like Donald Trump. There are cards that look like Alex Jones and Ron Paul. It goes on and on and on. But they let you know what's going on out in the open. And they believe that by letting you know what's going on, they actually get some sort of superpower where they can like avoid either going to hell or having to fucking deal with like God's law, because they say like, well, we let them know in all these movies and stuff that vaccines caused autism, or that fucking chemtrails are really causing dementia or whatever, what Alzheimer's, whatever, aluminum and all that stuff. So they're letting us know right out in plain sight. So when movies and TV shows and stuff start showing Trump meeting with Kim Jong Un, and then it happens. Is it life imitating art or art imitating life? Or is it predictive programming? I'm just letting you know that there's something weird going on with the North Korea stuff, and the fact that Kim Jong Un sneezes in the wrong direction. It's all over the news. But Trump goes there and walks across, into North Korean territory for the first time any president had ever done it in history, and then media's like, oh yeah. Not a big story. It's a huge story. Anyhow, I'm Keegan, and in the meantime, don't roll your eyes at me.